Paul's team, number 10, Ryan Lawless, has replaced number 19, Conal Hawley.
Hello folks, and welcome back to the Athletic Grounds for this TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final between St Pauls of Lurgan and Chiranogue of Portadown. Fáilte Rash and Park Lucas don Clickashaw idir Níomh Pól and Lurgan agus Chiranogue Portadown agus sé Níomh Pól ar an Leithroid Janish. St Paul's attacking here in the early stages of the first half, and that looks like it might be a foul. We've one change to report of the St Paul's team. The match, of course, level. St Paul's 2-3, Chiranogue 1-6, with a very exciting conclusion to that first half. A couple of goals from each side. The final one of those being a St Paul's penalty, which was converted expertly by Niall McPartland, who's one of the stars in the St Paul team in the first half. The one change I have to report is number 10, Ryan Lawless, has just been introduced, and he's come on for Conal Hawley, who had been playing at left half forward, and this is an opportunity now for Michael Shanks. That's dropped in about the house, and a bit of a high tackle there, and Chiranogue will emerge with possession. Very, very tight game, I suppose. Very like a Friday night's encounter. We've had the goals, perhaps we didn't have last week, but we still have the very same tight, two well matched teams. We had Tommy Stevenson of the St Paul's club in with us at half time. He was confident that if it came down, if it was still tight with 10 minutes to go, the St Paul's are a very fit side, and they might have the edge physically in the last 10 minutes. As Conor McCormick burst forward here for Chiranogue, and that's gone out to Johnny McGurgan. Johnny McGurgan, he got a point in the first half. He's foraging in there for Chiranogue, and it looks like the referee has awarded a free kick to St Paul's, or at least he's stopped play for an injury. So all level here. Don't forget, folks, we're delighted to have you along here on Armagh TV. Don't forget to get the comments in on Twitter at Armagh_GAA. On the Facebook page, www.armagh-gaa.net/ArmaghTV. Let us know where the world you're watching the match from. Niamh Thornbury's watching it in Lurgan. She suggests that I think she tuned in towards the end of the first half, and suggests that she tuned in just in time, that it was always happening at that stage. Certainly was just multitasking this afternoon, one eye on the Armagh TV, the other on the ladies' final. That's happening in Croke Park, of course, with another great game in Croke Park, and the hurling replay last night, and having a great game here in the Athletic Grounds in this particular replay, as that ball's played over towards Phelim O'Neill, and Phelim O'Neill's one of the stars for St Paul's, but he's been stopped there by number 8, Barry McDonald, and Barry McDonald heading forward, and that looks like a foul, and yes, that'll be a free kick for Chiranogue, about possibly 40 metres from goal. Probably, I'm sure either Brian Mallon or Paul Carville will fancy their chances from here. Paul Carville probably been reasonably quiet. He's scored 3 points. They've all been from frees, but he's maybe reasonably quiet by his own standards from play, but a very, very competent free taker nonetheless. And if that's all he was doing, he would still be a very effective man to have in any team. Brian O'Connor's watching us. He's enjoying the coverage on Armagh TV. So keep up the good work, and we're delighted to have you along with us, Brian. Hope you're enjoying the game. And Brock McVeigh, he says it's great coverage watching his local team, Chiranogue, from New York. So all the way from Manhattan to the Athletic Grounds and the Armagh TMET Intermediate Championship, as we await Paul Carville having a go here from about 40 metres. And he looks to give his side the advantage, and that's a high kick, and it's over the bar. And that's been converted. That's an excellent point to open the Chiranogue account for the second half. And Chiranogue 1-7, St Paul's 2-3. Of course, it was this stage in the quarter-final against Grange where Chiranogue really asserted their dominance. They scored 4 or 5 points in a row at the start of the second half to win the game. They'd also had a very good conclusion to the first period on that day. As Jamie McAleenan, he's beaten them on. He's sort of looking impressive there. And Johnny McGurgan, everyone's played as McAleenan's had a pop there in towards it. Looked like they're certainly Brian Mallon went down under the force of a challenge. He's quite remonstrating with the referee. He's quite disturbed by the challenge that was put in on him, but no foul awarded, and St Paul's worked it up to the pitch to Niall McPartland. and that's pumped in by St Pauls, and gathered by the Tir match. That's probably kicked out to Barry McDonald. And St Pauls, that wasn't a great, that's a poor pass from McDonald, and it's been won by St Pauls. It's Eric McPartland, and now here's Andrew Murnan. Andrew Murnan, one of the stars of the Armagh minors team that won the All-Ireland in 2009. And that ball, a hand got on that. The attempt by Charlie Hart was partially blocked down, and it's allowed Tir to regain possession here in the form of Conor McCormick. And Tir looked to build from the back. That's Barry McDonald with it over the terrace side of the pitch here in the athletic grounds. They build patiently at this point. And that ball's been pumped in by Paul McCann. And Tir dangerous enough here. Opportunities under severe pressure, and illegal pressure, it turns out, and that'll be Tir free. Tir 5 of their points so far today have been from free kicks. Shea Skelton there was the man who was fouled, and it'll be Paul Kjarval to have another. He'll be looking for his 5th point of the match so far. And they would have given the form he's been in from whether he places the balls or whether he takes the frees from the hands, it doesn't seem to matter too much to him. He's going to place this one, and you'd certainly expect Paul Kjarval to tap this one over and give Tir a 2-point lead. Were he to be successful in converting it, I does so. So there you are, folks. We've played 6 minutes here in the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final. Tir 1-8, St Pauls 2-3. Paul Kjarval's frees. Really the difference between the two teams at this stage. And there's some controversy over there on the terrace side of the pitch, and it'll be a St Pauls free kick. And we have Eamon O'Connor is watching the game from Sydenham in London. He played for both teams, in fact, but he's definitely supporting St Pauls. Not sure what the Tir men did on Eamon O'Connor from Sydenham in London, but he certainly nailed his colour to the St Pauls mast, and I hope that he's enjoying the coverage on Armagh TV here. And don't forget, this is the first of a double header, 5 p.m. We have the battle between Annaghmore and Forkhill for the right to play Clonmore in the TMET Armagh Junior Championship semi-final. As Tir that looked like it was a high challenge, but the referee's allowed to play to develop. And again, possibly a foul now for St Pauls. No, the referee's certainly not quick with his whistle today. He's allowing the game to develop. Perhaps that's an admirable trait as St Pauls look to attack down the terrace side, but Tir have regained possession. Scrappy in the early stages of the second half here. And that's so Johnny McGurgan was on the ball there, and he's transferred. Has now come as far as Paul Kjarval. Kjarval playing a dangerous ball. Oh yeah! Look, it was a perfect ball to Jamie McAleenan, but McAleenan couldn't get it in the hands. Look, McAleenan was fouled, but he's regained possession. And at the second time of asking, the referee, Ger Shevlin, has awarded the free, and Jamie McAleenan having a good game here for Tir. Hasn't been able to get his name on the score sheet as yet, but he's certainly quite effective down there in the corner. And there's another free kick opportunity for Tir. Finian Moriarty, he's watching the game on Armagh TV. Says another tight contest today, and that he suggests that the next few scores are vital. And another wonderful piece of analysis. Thanks very much for that, Finian. And of course, understand that from my contacts in the Wolf Tones Club that Finian Moriarty, I think it might be whether it's today or yes, a very special weekend for Finian. He's turned the big 3-0, so happy birthday to Finian Moriarty. He's been one of great player for Armagh, of course, over the years. One of the stalwarts of that 2004 All-Ireland under-21 winning team, and noted this year that if they're all turning 30 as the wheels of time don't stop for any man. Brian Mallon, of course, is about to take this free kick, was also on that team, and his concern, I suppose, rather than dwelling on the past, will be putting this over and giving his side a 3-point lead. But happy birthday to Finian, and we're delighted to have our Armagh stars watching our games here on Armagh TV. And I hope the hangover isn't too bad there in Wolf Tones, but here's Brian Mallon now, more importantly, with the free. He'll have an effort at the posts, and that's going over the bar. And a fine start here for Tir. They're Tipping away with the free kicks. That's Paul Carville got 2, Brian Mullins got 1 in the opening 9 minutes here in the Athletic Grounds in the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final replay, and they've opened up a useful 3-point lead at this stage. Chernog, of course, the unbeaten team, the only unbeaten team in Armagh this year. They've played 18. They've won 15. They've drawn 3. Well, St Pauls are one of the teams to hold them last Friday night in the Athletic Grounds. Long ball played down towards the Chernog. Andrew Murren's come out for this, and he's managed to get that. Luckily he was perhaps impeded, but the referee says no, and Tony Marley's picked the ball up here. Tony Marley played the ball to the fullback Chris McDonald, and now it's gone as far as Barry McDonald. Plenty of McDonalds here, 4 brothers and all playing for Chernog. That ball pumped down towards Brian Mullen, very noticeably being played towards, playing very close to St Paul's goal. He drifted deep a lot against St Paul's in the first game, and it does so a lot over his career, but close to goals today and effectively so. And that ball's gone wide. I think that was Johnny McGurgan. So we played 10 minutes here in the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final, and it's St Paul's 2-3. They're yet to register in the second half as Phelim O'Neill picks out the ball, but Phelim's dropped that. And that ball's kicked over towards Chris McDonald. And Chris McDonald holds possession there, not been put any under particular pressure, but he is now by Charlie Hart, and he's actually fouled the ball here. And St Paul's have an opportunity to launch an attack. Don't forget, folks, get the comments in on Twitter at Armagh_GAA, Facebook, the Armagh GAA page, or www.armagh-gaa.net/Armagh TV. We also have that ball's been played in, and that's a fine point. So a fine point from number 13, Darren Fox. That's his second point of the game. I make it, yes. Darren Fox's second point of the game with 11 minutes here in the Athletic Grounds gone, and St Paul's, that's there. They'll be relieved to have registered the first point of the second half, their first point of the second half, so they trail now by just the 2 points. 2-4, they got the goal just before half time, and it's 2-4 to St Paul's, 1-9 to Chernog. As Barry McDonald goes down he's been tackled, he's been stopped there. Luckily he lifted the ball from the ground, yes, and the referees noted that, and it looked like we're going to have a Reece Marshall. Looks like he's going to be introduced. Reece Marshall's going to be introduced here for St Paul's. Reece Marshall, of course, the sporting star in the sense that he's also a very keen soccer player. And he's been introduced for Ryan Gilmore. Ryan Gilmore got the goal for St Paul's, but that'll be the end of his involvement in the game, as number 12 Michael Shanks has kicked that high but not particularly accurately, and that may bounce. It's bounced over in the corner, but St Paul might be able to do something with it, but so the Chernog man's looked like he dived down on the ball. Very difficult for us to tell from this distance, right over in the far corner of the Athletic Grounds, the town end of the goal. So the referee maybe, yes, I think he's going to throw it up. And the ball's thrown in there, and it's gone out, and that'll be at Chernog sideline. Ball kicked towards there, and Jamie McAleenan's fighting hard to get towards that ball, but St Paul's man was always the favourite. And here's Andrew Moore, and he's in a bit of space. I wonder if he take on the shot. He does, but it's drifted wide. It's drifted wide, and it's drifted just wide. And really, that was a good opportunity for Andrew Moornan to get a point, to get his team back within a single score here on the Athletic Grounds. And it'll be Andrew Neeson who'll be kick this ball out now for Chernog. Second half really hasn't caught light as yet. Just the 1 point from play, that was from Darren Fox. Chernog started well with the 3 frees. Didn't have, I suppose, we couldn't really keep up the excitement of the latter stage of the first half with a couple of goals and some points as well in the last 4 or 5 minutes. And here is Barry McDonald. Barry McDonald shipped that ball forward, and very well done from Shea Skelton there. He showed great balance to evade his marker. Shea Skelton on the ball, and looked like it was picked off the ground. Yes, it was. Yes, the referees noted that. Brian Mullen had picked that ball off the ground. Shea Skelton had done very well, but illegally picked up by Brian Mullen, and a little bit of dissent there by Chernog, and the ball's been moved forward, and well delivered pass in Niall McPartland. McPartland's booted the ball in towards the square, and here's Andrew Mornan. Andrew Mornan's got the ball, and it's been given over here, and it's a substitute, I think, Reece Marshall, and the ball's been stopped on the line. Reece Marshall almost made an impact there. He was almost a super sub, but wearing the number 15, Reece, but he's just been introduced, and he had the opportunity there, and it looks like a fairly hard tackle over there on Chernog player, who's now lies prone on the ground, and I think the referee's going to speak to I think it's number 9, Charlie Hart, for St Pauls. It looked like it was a tough tackle. It wasn't. I don't think there was too much in it. And Finian Moriarty can continue his analysis here, and great to hear his thoughts. He thinks that Chernog are in the driving seat at the minute. I couldn't disagree with Finian, though no doubt had Reece Marshall been able to finish that to the net, it would have been a crucial score and perhaps a turning point in the game. But Chernog playing with the confidence that emanates from a side that haven't been beaten all season, and they're just about doing enough to. And I suppose really that's been really the hallmark of their championship performances all season. They lasted their way through the league. In the championship, they have been just about doing enough, albeit against quality opposition. Against Shane O'Neill's, they won by a point. Grange, they won by 3, but it took goalkeeper Andrew Neeson to pull off a save in the dying moments to avoid a replay against the Grange. It was a draw against St Pauls, as we know, last Friday night. So Chernog, that they've just about been getting through the matches in the championship, but there's certainly no harm in doing that, as they'll restart this match here with a free about 40 metres from their own goal. Don't forget to get the comments in, folks, on Twitter at armagh_gaa. And here's number 17 for Chernog, and that's Stephen McCann. And Stephen McCann's been introduced. He'll be hoping to make an impact. And we're just waiting to see who's going to be withdrawn from the Portadown side. I think it's number 4, Dara McKee. And he's been at number 17, Stephen McCann, on for number 4, Dara McKee, as Tony Marley has the ball over on the terrace side of the pitch. And that's the first introduction of the game for Stephen McCann. He holds possession, plays it back, and that's number 5, Damien McDonald. He'll see Chris McDonald over there in plenty of space in the Chernog defence. And this will be played over. Oh, poor pass, very poor pass, cut out, and that was a fine ball from Phelim O'Neill. Has he put his man through? He has. Oh, it's a deflected. That's a goal. That's a goal here, and that was Darren Fox who got the ball. It was a very, very poor pass out of defence by Chernog. It went as far as Phelim O'Neill. Magnificent vision from O'Neill. O'Neill saw Darren Fox bursting through, and Fox, Andrew Neeson came out on Fox, but he showed the presence of mind. He flicked the ball over the head of the advancing Chernog goalkeeper, and that has put the Fox has put the cat fairly amongst the pigeons here in the Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final. It's a goal for St Pauls. It's 3-4 to St Pauls. They lead by a point. And what a goal that was, but it all came from a very, very basic and elementary error in the Chernog defence. They'll have nightmares about that one if it proves to be crucial for St Pauls. But all credit to the St Pauls side. A superb pass from Phelim O'Neill and a fine finish from Darren Fox. He's got 1-2 already today. He's having a wonderful match for St Pauls. And here's a free for Chernog. And absolutely all to play for. We were perhaps a little let down by the fare available on Friday night between Clonmore. It was a very one-sided game. Clonmore very much got the better of Clevy's seconds, but we're not being disappointed in any way, shape or form here this afternoon as Chernog looked to level things up with 11 minutes to play. And could we dare I suggest that we could be looking at extra time here? There's a long way to go yet. And that ball's gone wide. It's gone wide, and Paul Cleverly very, very disappointed with that one. And a very, very exciting conclusion in store here in the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final replay. It's St Paul's 3-4, that's 13. It's Chernog 1-9, that's 12. And the ball's towards Barry McDonald, has been flicked on, and St Paul's have the opportunity here. And it's that man, Niall McPartland. He got the goal in the first half and the penalty. He's played it forward. Andrew Murnan got the equaliser last Friday night. He's looking to do something here. It's McParland again, and that's a fantastic score on Niall McParland. A magnificent kick from about 40 metres out the pitch, and is the pendulum swinging towards the Lurgan men with 10 minutes to play here in the athletic grounds. That was a superb kick from Niall McParland, and St Pauls lead by 2. nOg had the better start to this first half, but it's in the last 10 minutes it's been all St Pauls, and it's St Pauls 3 goals and 5 points. nOg 1-9, and it's all to play for. And that looked like a foul on Dara Toll. Yes, it was. And things are just going for St Pauls in the minute. We've only 10 minutes to play. What an exciting conclusion we have to this championship match, and the referees brought it forward. Jamie McAleen, I'm not sure if that was Jamie's dissent, but somebody has done something to irk the referee here with 10 minutes to play, and that's been brought forward. Now, wonder, is this a scoring opportunity as number 18 for nOg, that's David Turley. He enters the play, and nOg have to do something here. It was a game that they were comfortable enough in without ever having a considerable lead. They look comfortable enough after playing about 10 minutes in the second half, but they're certainly anything but comfortable now. And it's St Pauls in the driving seat, 2 points up with 10 minutes to play, and that's Pather Nash. Nash has kicked it in around and just, what's the goalie dropped that? No, Neeson holds on. Neeson holds on to it, and he plays the ball away there. Not quite. Shea Skelton has been withdrawn for nOg, so it's David Turley on for Shea Skelton. Ball over there on the terrace side, and here comes nOg. They're going to have to do something magnificent fairly quickly. Barry McDonald's been fouled. And we're all building up for an absolutely grandstand finish here in the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final replay. nOg, the unbeaten team. St Pauls, the team that finished bottom of Division 1, but they're certainly not playing like a team lacking confidence at the minute. But nOg advance here. I think that might be Paul Carroll. Great save! What a save there from Kieran Toman. Tipped it over the bar, and that's a point for. And Johnny McGurgan, I think it was. Johnny McGurgan I think he was certainly trying to find the top corner of the St Pauls net, but he's had to settle for a point. And there's only now the minimal minute. Great save from Kieran Toman, and he's kicked the ball out towards midfield, and that'll be number 7. That's Chris Lavery. Chris Lavery's got man up alongside him. He's got Reece Marshall there, but he doesn't need him as yet. Now recycles it to Marshall. Reece Marshall, who's just been introduced. He plays soccer at Glenavon, I understand. He's played the ball over there here in the athletic grounds, and that's gone for 10. That's a fine point from Ryan Lawless, and Ryan Lawless is much of the light of the St Pauls contingent here in the athletic grounds. It's now 3 goals and 6 points as St Pauls. Lawless has registered, and he's restored that 2-point lead. And a short kick out now. We can barely have an opportunity to draw my breath here in the latter stages of this match. We have about 7 minutes to play. nOg with the free. McDonald on the ball. He's played it over there as far as Tony Marley. Tony Marley heading down the terrace side of the pitch. He's about halfway. He's played the ball, but I don't think that's going to come. But, oh no, look who emerges from almost nowhere, Mark Davidson. And it's been an effort there. I think that's going to drop into Kieran Toman's hands. Toman deals confidently with that. And I think that's going to be a free out. That'll be a free out to St Pauls, and we get a chance to draw. What excitement we have here! What excitement in the final stages here in of this Intermediate Championship semi-final. No quarter being asked or given. We spoke to Tommy Stevenson of St Pauls at half-time. He suggested that if it came down to the last 10 minutes, that St Pauls were a very fit team and they might be able to run the legs off this nOg outfit. There's still an awful lot of football to be played. It was St Pauls who got the final score last Friday night to equalise. They lead here by 2 points, and McCormick attacks, and now it's still nOg, and that's and he's been held up. Davidson out to McCormick. McCormick looking for an opportunity. He's found a bit of space, and could this be a goal? He's round the keeper. That's in the back of the net. That's a goal, and that was Paul Carroll. The captain has done it for nOg. We have the 5th goal of the match here in the athletic grounds. A slow, patient play, but nOg continue to find the man in space, and Carroll had the easiest of once he round the keepers, he had the easiest of tasks in knocking it to the net, and that's a goal for nOg. And do we have another twist in the tail here in the athletic ground? Tiranogue lead by a point. In the midst of all of that, the referee gave a yellow card. I can't quite identify who he gave it to, but it's now I know that it's Pather Nash. I can identify him. He's played the ball down towards McPartland. McPartland on the ball over on the terrace side of the pitch. McPartland goes forward. It's St Pauls now. They've had the lead snatched from the grasp, but can McPartland level it up? He's played it in towards Neeson. The ball's bounced. It bounced there, and must have been a worrying moment for Neeson. But the goal from is that going to be the crucial score? We couldn't separate them. We couldn't separate them last Friday night. Can we separate them in the remaining few minutes here in the athletic grounds? We've only 5 minutes to play. I raised the spectre of extra time 5 or 6 minutes ago, and with 5 minutes to play, I certainly wouldn't be putting that spectre back in its box as yet. But it's Tiranogue down on the terrace side of the pitch. Look like a man has been fouled. I don't think he was fouled. But yes, it looks like it's going to be St Pauls who are going to under severe pressure there from Mark Davidson. What an exciting match we've had, and if there was any dearth of excitement on Friday evening, it's the TMET Armagh Championship have made up for it in spades here in the athletic grounds this afternoon. What a game we are having, and of course this is only the first of a double header at 5 p.m. It'll be the turn of the footballers of Forkhill and Annickmore to grace this pitch. And now this is going to be a difficult opportunity, as I think that Jamie McAleenan seems to have been withdrawn. He seems to be withdrawn for Tiranogue, but here's the opportunity. There's an opportunity here. The referee's just taking a moment to contemplate what's going to. But when play gets starting again, the players are taking on water. You know, we could have a very exciting last few minutes here. Of course, there could be 25 minutes to play in this game, but Paul Carville will hope not. He'll hope that his Tiranogue side that he can turn this 1 point lead into a 2 point advantage. He's about 20 metres from the end line, but he's very tight to the over towards. He's about maybe 5 or 6 metres in from the sideline. It'll be a difficult kick, but if anybody can do it, Carville can. But on this occasion, he can. It's over the bar. A superb kick from Paul Carville, and come at the hour, come at the man, and that man has been Paul Carville for Tiranogue in the latter stages of this match. He got the goal only moments ago, and he's now got a magnificent point from a free. What a game Paul Carville is having, and at this stage it looks like Tiranogue are the one favourites. These are desperate times for the St Pauls men, because they trail on a scoreline of Tiranogue 2-11, St Pauls 3-6, and number 13 Darren Fox. He was the goal scoring hero about 10 minutes ago. He's been withdrawn for St Pauls. Haven't quite worked out who's gone on yet, but we'll bring you that information as soon as we have it. As Brian Mallon is the old dog for the long road here. Brian Mallon, he's played the ball over towards the terrace side of the pitch, and Tiranogue look to keep possession. They've got a 2 point lead. That Paul Carville goal looks like it's going to be all important here in the athletic grounds. And here's Paul McCann, and he's transferred it to McDonald. Chris McDonald on the ball, Barry McDonald, and never mind his name. Let's concentrate on what he's just done. But he's put the ball over the bar, and it looks like Tiranogue are on their way to the TMET Armagh Intermediate Final. An excellent point there from Barry McDonald, and it looks like Tiranogue have swallowed up. Only 5 or so minutes ago they were 2 points in arrears. Now they lead by 3. It looks like they've swallowed up what was a brave challenge from the Lurgan men. Well, there's only 2 minutes to go, but given that we had 2 goals in the latter part of the first half, I certainly wouldn't be discounting either team at this stage. 1 minute and 45 seconds to play. St Pauls with the possession. They have a free kick over on the terrace side of the pitch. What a magnificent game this has been. Phelim O'Neill on the ball. Phelim O'Neill, he's a man alongside. That's Ryan McCauley. What's he got? He's put it in around the square. I don't think is it Morning. It is Morning's field. He's got it, and that's been blocked down. But the referee, no, he hasn't given it free. It looked like he was going to. But that ball's been blocked by Tiranogue. The ball is blocked by Tiranogue, and now there's going to be a Tiranogue free. And there's a couple of men down from Tiranogue, and I'm sure the referee will be adding time on. I mean, no doubt the more suspicious of St Paul's supporters would suggest that, of course, they'll be going down at this time. They'll be trying to slow down the play, but no doubt the referee will be adding all this time on. And there were a couple of players receiving attention. And the Watersmen got on, and no doubt the players are absolutely out on their feet. They played 60 minutes of tremendous championship football last Friday night. They've now played another absolutely magnificent 60 minutes of championship football here on the athletic grounds on this Sunday afternoon. And with 30 seconds to go, it looks like Chernonog are going to be the team that are going to make it through to the final. St Pauls probably need a goal at this stage. We await an indication as to how much injury time is going to play at the end of the match. Perhaps a couple of minutes. Chernoog look to build possession. They're going back towards their own goal, across their own goal now. And it looks like they have those Tony Marley, and he's played it over onto the terrace side of the pitch, and that ball's been knocked forward, and it's Pierce McDonald, I think, is going to get to it. Wonderful stuff for McDonald. A challenge was coming in, but he didn't shirk that challenge, and he's got it as far as Johnny McGurgan, and now it's Paul McCann. And here still, I think this is now Barry McDonald on the ball for Chernonog. McDonald still goes forward. Another point was surely secured. It's back to Paul McCann. And now Jamie McAleenan. Can McAleenan get the insurance score? And he can. Jamie McAleenan has pointed. And as we head into injury time here in the athletic grounds, that Jamie McAleenan point might surely wrap this game up for Chernonog. It's Chernonog 2-13. It's St Paul's 3-6. And what a finish it has been. A barnstorming last 10 minutes from Chernonog. And if they are to go on, it'll be that Paul Carville goal was the catalyst for some great play by the Portadown men. And St Paul's try and vain. They really need a goal at this stage. They have a free about 25 metres. And of course, as we remember, and the ball's been chipped in. Is it chipped in? Oh no, it's a save by Neeson. We almost had even further, John, but the ball was intentionally chipped in. It was palmed towards the net, but Neeson was equal to it. And of course, the men from Killeavy will be watching this game. Will probably at this stage shun the light. They'll be retaining their senior championship status if Chernonog hold on here. Those are all the permutations, but probably the most important permutation at the minute is who's going to be in that TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final. We have Chernonog cleared down towards his own goal. Chernoog cleared down towards his own goal. And the referee, this allows everybody to draw breath. We've played a minute and 30 seconds, and these are desperate times for this number 16. Number 16, Mark Smith. It looks like Chernoog have got to the intermediate final, but a free kick taken there. Short, but the referee's still not happy. He's awaiting number 16, Mark Smith, coming into the game. And what an exciting game we had here over the last 10 or 15 minutes. We had a superb finish to the first half. We had a wonderful spell there. It looked like St Paul's had done enough. That goal of Darren Fox's looked like it could be crucial, but Chernoog have finished the stronger. Jamie McAleenan looks like he's throwing the ball, and that'll be St Paul's. But you wonder, is there going to be long enough left to play? We have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes of injury time played. 2 minutes of injury time played here, and really, St Paul's are very much drinking in the last chance saloon as they play the ball, and that's a tackle. That's a great tackle from Brian Mullen. He was playing the full forward line for a lot of the match. He's now out around midfield. The ball's been kicked in. Not a wonderful effort. It's been palmed back in, but Chernoog can deal with that. And that's it looked an innocuous enough challenge there on Barry McDonald, but the referees award the free. Touchy scenes. The players having a bit of a push and a drag at each other. And don't forget, of course, that it's next week. We have one more game to come on this Sunday afternoon. But the winners of this, and it looks like that'll be Chernoog. They'll be playing, we think, at 4 p.m. in the Intermediate Championship final. That'll be preceded by the minor final at 2 p.m. Those games will be carried on Armagh TV. But check the county website for a confirmation of that during the week, as David Turley has it. And the important thing for Chernoog is that they're playing it. Never mind what's on Armagh TV. And it looks there like Barry McDonald's been fouled. And you would have thought that that is the last chance for St Paul's has gone here. We've played 3.5 minutes of injury time, and it's Chernoog on the ball. They look to get to put a final flourish on this, and they have done so in the form of number 17, Stephen McCann, and it's now Chernoog 2-14. It's St Paul's 3-6. And in truth, if the game ends like this in a 5-point victory, it probably doesn't do justice to the efforts of St Paul's over the it doesn't do justice to the efforts of St Paul's over the course of this match. A 5-point deficit. They looked at one stage that they were the likely winners, but the referee is blowing up the match. He's blowing the final whistle, and nOg are 19-0, as they would say in American football parlance. 19 games, no defeats, and it's nOg who have defeated a gallant St Paul side here in the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final replay. nOg will be in the final. They'll play Madden, and that promises to be a magnificent game. But this was a superb match in front of us here in the athletic grounds. The St Paul's players are devastated. The final score: nOg 2-14, St Paul's 3-6. Thoroughly enjoyable game, and certainly with another game to come on Armagh TV between Forkhill and Armagh-gaa. That game will have to be an absolute classic to rival this thoroughly enjoyable affair. But it's at the end of the day, it's nOg who have come through. They'll play Madden in the championship at 4 p.m. next Sunday afternoon. That will be preceded by Crossmaglen versus St Paul's in the minor final at 2 p.m. And that's a certainly a game to look forward to. We have plenty of football on Armagh TV before that, of course. We have the match today at 5 p.m. between Forkhill and Armagh-gaa. I will also have senior championship fair over next weekend. But so plenty of football still to be played as the championships reach their very exciting climax next weekend and the weekends to follow. Well, the important news here from the athletic grounds in the TMET Armagh Intermediate Championship semi-final replay: nOg have won through. It's nOg 2-14. It's St Paul's 3-6, and we hope to see you all back at 5 p.m. Gia Eva Harja.